Welcome to the Old Spice post-game report. I'm Julie Alexandria here with Sundance and DMAC. What an amazing championship we just witnessed here at the Meadowlands. Triggers Down just beat Instinct. Guys, how did Triggers Down win their first 2009 circuit event?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, they shook off yesterday. I mean, they did not look like the same team we saw the first 2 days of this event. They came out, SK was very motivated to win, and they basically just outplayed everybody. And the thing is, they made it hard for themselves. They had to go through a lot of the top teams, so they were definitely had their A game here on Sunday.
But was this expected?
I think a lot of people had picked them.
It was expected, but it definitely wasn't expected after Saturday.
Yeah.
When you look at Triggers Down, they lose to Believe the Hype, but they come back, they dominated Believe the Hype, and then they dominated Instinct 6-1.
Yeah, that's what's really impressive, because yesterday Instinct looked like world beaters. I think yesterday, based on the performance I saw out of Instinct, I thought that they were going to be sitting there and have an easy time and just kind of win this event going away, but it was not the same Instinct today. Triggers Down, which was a bad thing for Instinct, but for Triggers Down, it was a good thing that it wasn't the same team that we saw yesterday. I mean, you know, there's so much talent on that team that a lot of people on the website, a lot of people in the forums said that they're favorites to win, but you know, I thought they imploded yesterday. I thought we heard some people saying that maybe, you know, only Hines was doing objective, but they turned that around. I saw Hysteria doing a lot of objective work today, and I got to say, I think maybe this brought them a little closer together, because this was their first event together. They hadn't played at an event together, and they maybe were a little nervous, but it seemed to click today somehow.
This is only going to get the ball rolling for the rest of the season. Now they're going to be on point. Next time at Columbus, watch, they're going to have that swagger of a champion.
That's true.
All right, well, let's run it down. Let's check out the letterboard. We have Triggers Down, the champions, Instinct, Believe the Hype, number 4, Straight Rippin', followed by Final Boss, number 6, Heaven and Earth, number 7, Status Quo, number 8, Carbon.
Yeah, this is, you know, what really shocks me here is Heaven and Earth being up there that high was kind of a surprise to me.
That doesn't really shock me.
I know the talent was there, but that team yesterday didn't look great. You remember, like, they played against Triggers Down and they took one game, but they came back today and they did some work today to get that 6th spot. Carbon, I think, was closer to placing much higher. I think Carbon got themselves into a position where they just straight ripping took them to 5 games, and then they kind of ran out of gas. And today, Triggers Down, they ran into Triggers Down,
well,
which...
As you know, Sonny, a team always gets screwed at an event. And what happened to Carbon? Believe the Hype beat Triggers Down, sending them to the losers bracket. They met up with them in the losers bracket, and they had to lose.
Yeah, and I think straight ripping, we saw the results of them not having internet in the off season at their new house they moved into. I think that was a big part of it. But those guys had a 4th place finish, which I'm sure they're not satisfied with. But I spoke to Elamite a little bit. He said they're going to be back for the next event. He's confident they can turn it around. T2 was not happy with the finish, but, you know, he's never happy unless they win. Final Boss is another team on that list, which, you know, they were close to maybe finishing higher than a lot of people expected them to play. And Macchio, the player that was viewed as maybe the weak link on that team,
strong player,
stepped it up. I mean, Macchio came out here like he had something to prove. And I got to tell you, if they might click a little bit for Columbus. I think they maybe now have a little bit of confidence. They realize that they were 1 series away from really, you know, being in finishing the top 3. So, which is what you want every time out. Is you want to be top 3 if you're one of those top.
How about Status Quo? You look at Status Quo. They put so much time, so much effort. Like I said, they went to everyone's house over the offseason. They dominated every single team, yet they ended up with a disappointing 7th place. You have to feel bad for Strong Side here.
Well, you know, I don't know. I mean, so it's top 8, and that's a bunch of young guns. He did go rogue and pick up these kids, and, you know, and he decided to go that route. I hope they stay together, because I think actually all those lands, you know, and the fact that they were dominating the lands is great, but when you come to an event, it's a different vibe. And those young kids, again, if this gives them a chance to kind of get some confidence in their gameplay, then maybe they can jump up a few spots. The team that I want to focus on a little bit here is Believe the Hype, though. I mean, honestly, last year I got a lot of grief for saying Believe the Who. You people don't understand what being ironic is, or, you know, but it was a kind of making a play on the name. These guys are the real deal. Clutch can play, and Cloud, I don't know. Some of the stuff this kid comes up with, you can't find them on the map.
He's a straight killer. He beat Straight Rippin' last year. He's done it again this year. They beat Triggers Down, the only team to beat Triggers Down this event. And
they were 2 last-second plays away from beating Instinct. The flag was on the platform. They couldn't cap it. And then in the last 3 seconds of that ball game, Instinct got the ball and got the lead. So Believe the Hype could have won this event had a few things gone differently. But I also look at that team and I say, everyone said, oh, they're online warriors. Not anymore. These guys are a real deal team.
The only thing that worries me about Believe the Hype is last year at Meadowlands, we saw Classic come and take a 2nd place spot. because not a lot of teams knew how they played. Not a lot of teams knew their aggression.
Yeah.
Then later in the season, they kind of fell off. If Believe the Hype could keep with their aggression, they have to keep it going. You know.
Yeah, I think the other thing with that is that the only argument I make is that last year it was Halo 3. That was the first Halo 3 event, right? Nobody knew how to play the game, to be honest. The strategies that evolved over the season definitely took leaps and bounds after that first event. People learned how to play the game. Believe the Hype has had a season of tournament play. You know, his name's Hines Online, Cypher, the Canadian guy who's been to 2 events now, with Toronto being his last one, and this was fantastic, and you know, he's a tremendous player, but that team is the real deal, and I think they're only going to get better, honestly. I expect them to do just as well in Columbus, if not a little bit better.
I hope so.
All right, Sundance, your pick for MVP.
Wow, MVP. So, you know, I had it all picked out if it was Instinct, but obviously it wasn't. I'm going to go with SK. And the reason I'm going to go with SK as opposed to going with Hysteria, who was ridiculous.
SK?
Let me finish.
All right.
Or Pistola, who's one of my favorite players to watch, and I'm happy for him. Or Hines, who's just ridiculous. But SK, because as the leader of that team, all right, you lose yesterday. A match you should not have lost on paper. You should have won that. You lose. Everyone's saying, oh, this is all hype. They're not going to do it. As the leader, you have to get your team together. You have to have the ability to get their heads back into it. You bring them back into this room whenever it's written you off, and you march through every single team you need to beat to win. That's what they did, and he's the leader, so he's the MVP.
I agree that SK definitely led them, but they couldn't have done it without Pistola. Pistola
no
was absolutely amazing today. He was better than Hysteria. He was better than Hines, and he was definitely better than SK. He shined throughout the finals.
And I've been talking about Pistola I love the kid's play. I love he's amazing. As I said last year, he's like a strong side-esque player, but who has evolved beyond that, I believe.
Yeah.
And his team game, he was an individual player who did well in free-for-alls. Now his team game is on another level. I think Pistola's got an amazing future in front of him, and I think that honestly, you're right. Without Pistola, that team wouldn't win, but that's the whole point. Without the guys on that team, there's no way they win.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, when we come back, SK will be joining us to talk about their huge win here at the Meadowlands. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.